base. Okay, let's get turned down. Oops, give me a second while I figure out my whole camera angles here. Probably gone too far. Not far enough. I got my coffee. If you hear that clatter, that's me with my coffee. Let's see if we got this right. So I went the wrong way. One of the first tools you're going to need is a paper trimmer. And this is going to be your best buddy. And mine's got all kinds of stuff stuck over it. You'll see here in a second. So this is the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. And it has two blades on it. Well, this one's an actual blade. And this one's a score tool. So the scoring tool is what puts a little bend in your paper, and the cutting blade right there, that will cut the paper for you. This actually extends outwards, so you can go all the way out to 17 inches if needed. So if you have we don't have paper that's actually 17, we have paper that's 12 by 12. This goes all the way out in case you are cutting something else. Okay, and that folds back up nice and easy. Now, here's a little trick. My trimmer is so dirty, I need to give it a clean. And if you like, just take a cloth and wipe it down. So when I'm prepping for classes, I might have to do a lot of scoring and then do the cutting. And so to stop myself from grabbing the cutting blade, I will grab a piece of washi tape or something and just put it there as a visual reminder. Not that one, right? Because you better believe, oh my gosh, why is it not until you go to show something, you go, oh my gosh, that's so dirty. Okay, so the thick cardstock, our cardstock is 8.5 by 11 inches. I don't know what that is in Australian. I used to, but no idea now. We also have 12 by 12. So if you're a scrapbooker, we have that paper too. And you always want to score first. One piece of paper is going to give you 2 card bases. And if you score at 4 1/4, so you just line it up right up here, 4 1/4, and you've got it portrait. And then you just press down, not too hard. And that will give you a score line. And a score line makes it easier to fold. This side has a bump, this side has an indentation. Then we can cut it. And we're going to cut it at 5 1/2. Just like that. Too easy. So now you have enough for 2 cards. And that's all we need right now from our paper trimmer. Well, no, I lied, because we're going to have to cut the base. Okay, so when we're folding this, you have a natural inclination to want to fold it in on the indentation. But the actual way to fold, and what will fold easier, is fold into the bump. So fold, there's the bump, fold into the bump. And that will give you a nice fold. Now, one of our other tools that you'll love is our handy dandy bone folder. And then you'll just push it down. Paper is pliable. You have to remember when you're working with paper, you can make it go the direction you want it to go. So you just do this. So this way your card's not like sticking like this, you know, up. We want it as flat as we can get it. It's always going to be a little bit, you know, open because it's paper. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to cut another layer for our card base. And that is going to be in our basic white cardstock. And again, that is 8.5 by 5 1/2. But we want to make a 5 by 3 3/4 card front. So we're going to go 5. Now, the reason you don't want to go this way and go 5 is because you're going to be left with this little piece over here. If you go this way and go 5, you're going to have 5, and then you're going to have more over here. So you can make 4 of these out of one piece of paper. So the way you cut matters, okay? I hope everyone's understanding that. If we had to cut this way, then it would have cut all that piece off, and then we would have only been able to have 3 pieces out of that. Then we want to go 3, and quarters are right here. So you can see 3 and then a quarter, and they have the corresponding lines going all the way down. So 3/4 is here. So you can actually line it up with this whole line. Makes it super easy. And boom. Okay, so the next thing we need, so we need our paper trimmer, we need our bone folder. This is starting out. These are 2 things you'll want to get when you're first starting. Your cardstock. Now you can get a colored cardstock and make that your base instead of having this thick. So you're going to want some cardstock. Then you're going to want ink. Now, well, first before ink, I guess, Memento Black is great. What I'm going to show you is how you're only going to need to buy 1 ink to start. You are going to need a stamp set. I have picked the Sunkissed stamp set from the mini catalog. The mini is that holiday catalog I showed you. And it's called Sunkissed. Now, I grew up in Australia, and in Australia, Christmas is in the middle of winter. I mean, summer. Sorry, I'm like, middle of winter. Here is the middle of winter. Christmas there is the middle of summer. So it was hot. It was hot. You got bicycles. You grilled outside. Similar to like a 4th of July kind of feel, but Christmas. So 4th of July, like bumped up. Really fun. Okay, so we've got our 1 stamp set, and when you open it, you're going to see I've already got stamps missing. This is called a clear stamp set. We have clear and photopolymer, and right now we're just going to focus on the clear. When they come, they're all on a sheet, and they're covered like this with a protective coating, and the little images are on this sheet. So one of the easiest ways I find to prep your stamps is to just pull it out, and I save this piece so I know what I'm missing, because by the shapes you'll know what goes where. Then we find the corresponding stamp. Looks like this one. And just peel that backing off, peel this backing off, and then just line it up. And you want to make sure you line it up before you stick it down, because once you stick it down, it's pretty much stuck. So there we go. And then you've got your stamp ready to go. Now, you can't just use your stamp like this. You need a tool to put your stamp on. And this is our clear blocks. So you could get, this is a size D. You could get 1 until you build up, or you can get the whole set. They have a set of them, whatever, you know, your budget allows. But you don't have to go in when you're first starting and buy all the different sizes. So you can buy 1, and you can put a smaller stamp on here. You just have to be a little more careful when you're stamping and to go straight down, straight up, because if you kind of go like this, you might get any extra ink on your edges. So these just really, they stick really well. So just be careful when you're pulling up, that you're pulling up the whole thing. So they just lay down like that. And these blocks are, some of these blocks I have had for 10 years. They're going to last you forever. Well, I don't know about forever, but a pretty long time. Okay. So again, if you're just tuning in, we are doing, if you're a brand new stamper, if you've never stamped in your life, what is all this stamping? Because, you know, when someone says stamps, you think postage. So we're going to make just a really, really basic card. So we've got our ink, we've got our stamps, we've got our block. I like to store my ink upside down so that it like stays to the top of the pad. Oops. This is not like our regular pads. Our regular pads are very different, but like I said, we are doing very basic introduction to stamping. Let's keep it simple. So you're not whacking really hard. You just tap, 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 tap. Okay? And then you are going to stamp. I'm going to do it upside down so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to do it a little bit further down than I did that other one. Oop. Again, this is a very basic card. So we're going to stamp that onto there. Just like that. Then we want to get a little bit of scrap paper. And we're going to stamp Sunny Seasons Greetings. This would be a great one to send to my friends in Australia. There we go. Now, if you're ever stamping and you make a boo-boo, the great thing about paper is it's two-sided and you can flip it over and do it again, okay? And then if that still doesn't work, we can always cover it up with something else. There's no mistakes in stamping. There is just opportunities for embellishments and creativity. And then I think we are going to, and you're probably going to get ink on your fingers. Don't worry about it. It comes off. Sometimes it takes a day or two. Okay. And we're going to stamp our little pelican here. He's so cute. Just on the inside of the card. I like to get my stamping on the inside done before we put all the card together and everything, because if you have a whoopsie, it's just easier to cover it up now. And you'll notice I left a little edge around this image. That's because if I did make a whoopsie, I could cut out another piece of cardstock and just plop it on there and make it look like it's a layer and it's supposed to be there. See? We can just make it go the way we want it to go. Okay. So, Stampin' Trimmer, bone folder, ink, stamp set, blocks. Next on our list is watercolor pencils. Now, if you're wondering what's all these stickers, it's so I know that these green is like a current product, and I got a little Aussie flag because when we have groups of people and we go to crops and everything, it's just a great way to identify whose is whose, because we do switch and, you know, borrow each other's stuff. So a watercolor pencil, it's basically like going back to school. You can see I use the white a lot. Now, I have had these for years, so they are going to last you quite some time, and I should pull them out more often. So basically, we're going to color, and this is going to take a minute. So, and I can't do that upside down, sorry. So, just bear with me as we go through this. Let's start with the umbrella first. I'm going to use Pacific Point. I'm going to stand up so I can see. And it's just like being back in school. And just coloring in. Trying to stay within the lines, but if you go out, that's okay too. So, here's the wonderful thing about our watercolors. This is so you don't have to buy a whole bunch of inks when you're just starting out. And you can have fun and color and have a card. Now, this is called a blender pen, and it's two-ended. And when you take this pen, you're going to watch some magic happen. It's going to make the colors a lot more vibrant, and it's going to make it look more like a watercolor effect. I'm just going to stop right there for a second and put that up a little bit higher to show you. So you can really see what I'm talking about. See the difference of just coloring in with a pencil, and then this is where we get our watercolor, our blender. So we just blend that out. Too easy. It's actually quite relaxing coloring. That's why, I don't know if you know this, but when they're doing therapy with children, they'll often give them coloring books because it's helps relax people. And you've all seen the trend. Now, if you got it a little dirty, you can just go like this and get the color off. But remember when the coloring book trend hit off? I'm going to take a black, and I'm just going basic black, fill that in a little bit. And then I think we'll take is Mango Melody? Melon Mambo. Sorry, Mango Melody. Not even close. That's like an orangey color. So we'll just color in the rest of our images here. We're going to do some sand. And just fill it all in. And you can go as heavy or as light as you want. Obviously, the heavier you go, the more you are going to get like that really vibrant color versus just a really light shade. And then I think we'll make our chair like a little old olive, a little retro. I'll just fill that in. Boop, boop. So you can do it quite quickly, or you can take your time. It's up to you. But if you're going to do quite a few of these, you know, then you probably don't want to be here all day long. And then just to make those legs on those chairs pop a little bit so they don't get lost in the sand. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. Like, I'm going over the edges here. It's okay. Because no one is going to be looking that, and I don't have my glasses on, but no one's going to be looking that closely. Okay, so then we get our blender pen and we blend the rest of this in. So when you go down the umbrella. I didn't even get to the beach this summer. Did you guys get to the beach? Anyone get to the beach? I think I need to go looking for shells or something. Apparently the best time to go is right after a storm. Okay. And then we just keep blending. You see how I'm just kind of pushing that color out past the boundary of the stamp? Oops. Make sure you don't push the black out. But again, no one's even seeing it. It's so minute, you probably can't even see it. And now we want to quickly color our pelican. And you know pelicans have like a little yellow spot right here. If you look them up, they have a little yellow on their head, which I had no idea until I like Googled what color is a pelican. Okay, so we're just coloring in. I'm trying to be quick so as to not bore you. But it is very relaxing. And if you have kids, your kids can do this too. Like kids, adults, crafting is for everybody. And then we'll make these colors pop. See how that just pops? I love it. And then we'll do our yellow. And again, I'm pushing it beyond the stamp. And I'm not trying to make it even or anything, just pushing that color out. And this one, we don't want to push the color out. We want to try to keep it in on the image. Okay. We're almost done, believe it or not. So this is what we're getting. It's this little colored in image. And mine, I like looking down, I can see it slightly off center, but you know what? No one's going to really care. And then this is the inside of the card. When they open it, they're going to see their little pelican buddy. Yes, Shelley said you don't have to be detailed. You can be very abstract. Oh, look. Why did all the comments just pop up? I only just saw them. Oh, yes. Look, she's given us a great, if you look in the comments, Shelley is very versed on the way of the tools and everything. And she knows all the science behind everything. I know, hey, use this here. So we're going to take our Seasons Green. Oh, next tool. We're going to need our, people call them snips, scissor or scissors. And these are the ones by Stampin' Up. And this is called fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is when you cut something out of paper. And when you do this, you actually don't move the scissors around. You're going to move the paper. So the scissors are pretty much staying in place. and you're going to manipulate the paper around and cut as you are moving the paper. Oops, not too far. So if you don't have dies yet, and if you don't even know what a die is, we will go into all of that. It's like a little metal thing that cuts out shapes, okay? It's not like clothes dye or food dye or even ink. I don't know why they call it dyes. Maybe Shelley does. So we can go through here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the great thing. And then just try to round it off. And then we have a little greeting to go on our card. So again, this card is going to be very, very simple. But we need something just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. So we're going to use this ribbon, which is really cute. Oh, I have my things written down. This is Freed ribbon, it's called. And it's adorable. And I got pink. What is that pink? I don't know what that is. So I like this ribbon because it's kind of like beachy, like sand. And we can either just go across like this and tuck it under, or we can wrap it around and tie a knot. So if you want to do this way, or you can even tie a bow. So it just depends what you're looking for. If you want to tie a knot like that, for me that's a little bulky. So I am going to just wrap it here. Now you'll notice these scissors are not my Stampin' Up! Scissors. I had purchased these many years ago, and these are my ribbon scissors, as you can see by this poor ribbon that's been on here for like 10 years. So nothing else except for ribbon gets cut with these scissors. We don't want to blunt the scissors. When you try to cut with blunt scissors, it doesn't work. Now, you can glue this down with like a liquid glue. And this is another tool you'll need, adhesive. You definitely need some kind of adhesive. My favorite is the Tombow liquid. But then we also have a thing called tear and tape. Now, if you don't have this at the moment, you can literally use sticky tape, you know. So you put this where you want it, fold it over. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of this. This is called double-sided tape. We do sell this. And we can just stick it in place like that. Now, if you were sticking, this is great for like making boxes and all kinds of other stuff when you really want a strong bond. And you can actually peel this top layer off. We do not need to do that because we are going to use dimensionals. Now these are an adhesive. They come in a package. There's 300 of them in here. Okay. And I think it's 300. Better not be telling you wrong. I'm pretty sure. And you can also use the edges of these. So don't throw anything away when you're using these up. You'll see you have an edge. You can just cut them and use them as needed. So we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Now dimensionals, when you pull them off, they're sticky on the underneath. And then on the top, you will pull off the little, I don't know, what is it, a wax paper sheet? Here we go. Okay. Then we are going to line this up. Make sure your card is going the right way. You don't want to be upside down. Trust me, people, even seasoned stampers, have made that mistake, myself included. So you just want to check that you've got it and then just try to center it as best you can. It does not have to be perfect. And the last thing we're going to do to this little card is put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this. and we're going to stick it to that ribbon. You just peel them off. You will find the backs of these, if you don't get them into the trash can right away, you will find these little pieces of wax paper everywhere. I found one in my dog's beard one time. Okay, and we're just going to stick that there. And it can be as simple as that. That's a little off center because my whole image is off center, but that's okay. That's what you get when you stamp upside down. Okay. And that's how we get started in paper crafting. Very easy. You get to, you know, fun colors to play with without, you know, spending a whole bunch on inks to start out. But another way that you can do it without spending a whole bunch on the larger ink pads is to buy what is called a Stampin' Spot. And these are, we can just open this up, little mini ink pads. And you open that up and then you just ink, ink, ink. So you can get like a little sampler as well, which gives you some variety to start with. Okay, well that's it for today. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate it. If you haven't, go ahead and please click that subscribe button. I do have a special running right now. If you use this host code link, which is in the comments section, you will get 5 of my handmade cards, and it's just a variety of cards I've made over the years, plus 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper. Designer series paper is our printed image paper that you use. So, example, because I don't have any sitting next to me, the red here is designer series paper. Okay, that color there is designer series paper. So any kind of image paper, or even that piece behind it, the vanilla, that's designer series paper as well. So it's just going to be a random assortment of both retired and new products, and that's when you spend $50 or more and you use this host code. The host code is in the link. Okay. Okay, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.